Indiana Jones and the Dialysis of Disappointment is an unmitigated disaster for Lucasfilm. Yet another spectacular character and franchise destroyed by their insistence on wrecking everything and acting like everybody's too stupid to notice or too stupid to understand what they're doing. Fans are walking away from this. I have something to cover here, but before I even go into it, let's take a look at the numbers for Indiana Jones and the Dialysis of Disappointment. Right? These are the numbers here. The domestic box office is at 159 million. The international box office is at 176 million. And the worldwide global box office is 335 million. That is not good at all. That is an absolute failure. That's what that is. Now, I want you to keep these numbers in mind because I'm coming back to them. I'm coming back to these numbers and I have a few things to break down when it comes to these numbers. Now, as bad as this is, of course, Shield Media is trying to spin this as some kind of win or break even for this movie when it's not. And who is leading this charge, you may ask? Well, none other than the king of all shills themselves, CBR. Imagine putting out an article this bold-faced with this bold-face of a lie and figuring that people are going to be too stupid to understand it. Yet, little bit we go through pieces. I don't go through the whole thing because that's nonsense. Indiana Jones 5 breaks even at the box office. Well, I tell you, I'm going to read a piece of this. After an underwhelming start at the box office, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny has now broken even with its budget. Yeah, sure it does. Sure it does. While Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny didn't quite live up to studio expectations at the box office, if you consider a nosedive straight to the box office, jump pile not quite living up to it, yeah. The film is not a total bomb except that it is. And it has now officially broken even on its exorbitant budget. That is nonsense, eh? What do they have to say? Collider reports that the sequel, which is the fifth installment of the Indiana Jones series, has reached 302 million at the international box office. Well, as we can see, it's now 335 million, right? Okay. That pushes the film just past its estimated budget of 300 million. Around 145 million was earned domestically, and another 157 million overseas, or whatever. Okay, so basically what they're trying to say is that because this movie has reached the 300 million mark and past it, it's broken even. Allow me to explain why this is total crap. Total crap. Let's get back to these numbers here, right? Let's look at the domestic box office, for instance. The domestic box office is 159 million, a little over that, right? Let me first start off by saying, all of these profits do not go directly back to the studio, because you don't find cinemas saying, yes, come to my newly built, very expensive cinema and show your movies for free. You understand me? Show your movies for free. That's what I want. I will get no money whatsoever. You just come, you show your movies, and you take 100% of the profits. That's not the way it works. In the domestic box office, and this is just North America, right? The studios only get 50% of the profits. So this 159 million is not directly all going to the studio. No, they only get 50% of it. And when you sit down and calculate it out like I have, what the studio actually takes home is 79,509,431. That's how much they actually taking home from that, right? When you look at the international box office, it says 176 million. No. No. Because international box office, which I literally, I'm a part of, because I don't live in the United States, so I'm a part of that. Okay, the international box office. The international box office, the studio only gets 40%. You understand me? They only get 40% of it. So that actually works out to just 70,400,000, of it. So they're not getting it. And this number here isn't even completely accurate, because when you look at China now, they only get 20% of that. So the number would actually be much lower. But even if you just go on the two figures I just gave, which is the 79,500,000 and I think what is that, and also the 70 million. Okay, even if you add that up, it only comes up to 149,909,431. That's all the money they have made so far. And keep in mind, like I said, this number would actually be much lower if you factor in China and some of the other Asian countries where they don't even get 40%. They get like 20%. Right? Now, when you factor in that amount and you look at the production budget for this movie, which was 300 million, and that's only what we know, because there were extensive reshoots, so that 300 million is most likely more. Now the 300 million, that only been that okay. Let's say that the production budget and thing is probably only about, let's say, 200 million, 250 dollars. Let's be even and say that, right? The reason why it's calculated usually that let's go back. Let's say that the production is 300 million, and the advertising, usually the advertising is the same amount as the production budget. Why? Because even if you say maybe advertising is about 200 million, you still have to factor in the other thing: red carpet appearances, billboards, ads that you see on TV. They don't run for free. Every time that an ad runs on TV promoting a movie, they have the TV companies have to get paid for that. So this money doubles there. So that 300 million budget, you also have to double that along with the advertising budget. And right now, this movie has barely even made 150 million. And like I say, it's most likely less, because if you factor in the Asian markets, that's what it is. The only way this movie stood a chance of breaking even, this movie had to make something in the vicinity of probably about 800 to 850 million. And Hollywood doesn't make movies just to break even. They make movies to make a profit. That's what they want. They want a profit. So they are not making movies just to barely break even. No, they want to make a profit. And this movie has substantially lost a lot of money, millions of dollars. You understand me? Because when you look, like I said, when you put together the advertising budget along with the production, this movie has lost hundreds of millions of dollars. But here is CBR bold-facedly lying and saying Indiana Jones 5 breaks even at the box office. You know why this is such a literal insult and also a real wake-up call? They have taken these movies and said, listen, the fans of these movies, we've all had our franchises that we like. Some people love Star Wars, some people love Indiana Jones, some people love sci-fi, some people love fantasy, all these different things. And the stories were really good over the years, really good. They've taken those stories and they said, listen, we don't care what you like. We want to put out what we like for our so-called modern audience and basically for the normies. But when it's reached to the point that even the normies are literally rejecting your bullshit because they see what you're doing, they see how you are breaking down and deconstructing these characters. They see how you are forcing, race swaps of characters into things that make no sense. They see how you are pushing this inclusivity and diversity nonsense where it doesn't even make sense to the story, and they're walking away from it. And now you're in serious financial trouble. And you have your bootlickers at CVR putting out bold-faced lies, literal bold-faced lies to say that Indiana Jones 5 breaks even at the box office, where I have just broken down these numbers to show that this movie has not even made half the amount of money of just its production cost alone. That's just the production, and that's not even factor in, advertising cost. The only way this movie was going and was even going and pretend to break even, it had to make something like 850 million. And they don't make movies just to break even. They expected this movie to be $1 billion hit, and it isn't, because people are getting wise. They are getting weary, and they're getting sick of the crap that these companies, Disney and them, keep putting on, and they're walking away from it. So you could put out all the bold-faced lies you want about how Indiana Jones 5 breaks even at the box office, but we all know the absolute and honest truth. This movie has been an unmitigated disaster, and you have nobody to blame for it but yourselves. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments. If you have a different opinion, I'd love to hear it. If you like the video, should hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring the notification bell, notified every time I put out a new video. And I shall see you all next time. Take care.